Welcome to the Kentucky Education and Labor Cabinet Office of Occupational Safety and Health online training resource. This class is presented as a service of the Division of Education and Training. This module will address warehouse ergonomics. Let's begin. This e-learning course is designed to assist you in complying with OSHA regulations. Because of the variations that can occur due to on-site conditions or performance criteria, it is impossible for any course to cover every aspect of those potential variations. Therefore, this course does not cover everything a person should know about a particular subject, nor does it qualify anyone as a competent or qualified person. However, our courses do cover part of the information that any person must know to be effective in applying safety and health standards and practices to circumstances in the workplace. In this course, we will define warehouse ergonomics, emphasize the importance of warehouse ergonomics in the workplace, identify and recognize risk factors and symptoms associated with workplace musculoskeletal disorders, MSDs, understand the impact of MSDs in the workplace, and elaborate on the benefits of an ergonomic program. What is warehouse ergonomics? Let's first define ergonomics. Ergonomics is the study of people working efficiently in their environment. Ergonomics calls for designing jobs, tools, workstations, equipment, and work tasks to fit human physical characteristics and energy limitations. This means fitting a job to a person. Ergonomics can help lessen muscle fatigue, increase productivity, and reduce the number of severity of work-related MSDs. Ergonomics means to make the work fit the person, not the person fit the work. Not only does an effective and sufficient ergonomics program and protection save workers from injury, but an effective ergonomics program can also save employers money and improve productivity. $1 of every $3 spent on workers' compensation stems from insufficient ergonomic protection. The direct costs attributable to MSDs are $15 to $20 billion per year, with total annual cost reaching $45 to $54 billion. There is significant value for the worker and the employer for implementing an effective ergonomics program. Improving the fit can benefit your workplace in many ways. For instance, improving the fit can reduce or prevent injuries, lower costs, for example, workers' compensation claims, worker turnover, absenteeism, reduce workers' factors for MSDs, and increase productivity and worker morale. Diverse workforces in various occupations require designing adequate workplaces, workstations, systems, and PPE. Material handling may expose workers to physical conditions, for example, force, awkward postures, and repetitive motions that can lead to severe injuries and work-related MSDs. Workers' abilities to perform work tasks may vary because of differences in age, physical condition, strength, gender, stature, and other factors. Designs incompatible with the workforce may result in unwanted accidents and injuries. The application of anthropometry, that is, the science that defines physical measures of a person's size, form, and functional capacities, can be used to determine the degree of protection against dangerous exposures. Work-related musculoskeletal disorders are a widespread occupational health hazard. Severe injuries can put people out of work or permanently disable them. According to BLS data, among transportation and material moving occupations in 2021 and 2022, most DART cases, 329,150, were due to overexertion and bodily reaction, which is shown at the top of the chart. Half of these cases, 165,690, resulted in 1 or more days away from work, with a median of 21 days away. The other half, 163,460 cases, involved at least 1 day of job transfer or restriction, with a median of 20 days. Over the 2021-2022 period, there were 502,380 workplace musculoskeletal disorders that resulted in at least 1 day away from work. These cases occurred at an annualized incident rate of 25.3 musculoskeletal disorders per 10,000 FTE workers. It is important to remember that all work-related musculoskeletal disorders can be prevented. The main risk factors associated with manual material handling tasks include, but are not limited to, awkward postures, for example, bending and twisting, repetitive motions, for example, lifting, carrying, reaching, forceful exertions, for example, carrying or lifting heavy loads, Pressure points, for example, grasping loads, leaning against parts or surfaces that have hard or have sharp edges. Static postures, for example, maintaining fixed positions for a long time. Vibration, and combined exposure to several risk factors. For example, other stressors such as environmental, light, noise, and other conditions. Awkward postures is an ergonomic risk factor because they cause stress on the spine, muscle fatigue, and pain. Awkward postures refer to the body's position that deviates significantly from the neutral position while performing work activities. When the body is in an awkward posture, muscles operate less efficient. Examples of awkward postures include working with hands above your head, your elbows above your shoulders, and or neck or back bent more than 30 degrees. You can prevent awkward postures by maintaining the natural curve of your spine. Avoid twisting and bending motions. Respect your discomfort or pain. Change positions, stretch to ease stiff muscles. Another ergonomic risk factor includes repetitive motions. If a particular motion becomes more frequent, the risk of injury increases and fatigue and strain increases. Changing tasks and periodic breaks can provide recovery. A forceful exertion can overload the muscles and lead to an overexertion injury. Another ergonomic risk factor includes pressure points. For instance, grasping loads and leaning against parts or surfaces that are hard or have sharp edges can increase the likelihood of developing a work-related MSD. Static posture refers to the physical exertion in which the same position or posture is held throughout the exertion. Static postures are harmful postures, and the presence of these static and awkward postures increases the risk and potential for injuries and illnesses. Ergonomic guidelines for manual material handling was prepared for publication by the Cal-OSHA Consultation Service, Research and Education Unit, Division of Occupational Safety and Health, California Department of Industrial Relations. This publication will help you identify high-risk manual material handling work tasks and choose effective options for reducing their physical demands. You will find approaches like eliminating lifting from the floor and using simple transport devices like carts or dollies, using lift-assisted devices like scissor lift tables or load levelers, using more sophisticated equipment like powered stackers, hoists, cranes, or vacuum assist devices, and guiding your choice of equipment by analyzing and redesigning workstations and workflow. In this publication, you will find alternatives to manual handling and management guidelines for safer lifting. You will also find easier ways to manually lift, lower, fill, or empty containers. Easier ways to manually lift include team lifting and use of scissor lifts. The use of a turntable can eliminate awkward postures and promote stability when loading and unloading. It is important as an employer to ensure work practices minimize the risk of developing MSDs. Injuries may include damage to the muscles, tendons, ligaments, nerves, and blood vessels. These types of injuries are called musculoskeletal disorders, or MSDs. Heat stress, cold stress, noise, poor lighting, poor ventilation, and poor environmental conditions may exacerbate other types of workplace problems. In 2015, the leading major event or overexposure resulting in occupational injuries or illnesses for all ownerships was overexertion and bodily reaction. Manual material handling may expose workers to physical risk factors, and if these tasks are repeatedly performed or performed over long periods of time, they can lead to injury and fatigue. Injuries include injury to the back, shoulders, hands, wrists, and other parts of the body. What types of work are likely to cause MSDs? Examples of work include, but are not limited to, manual handling, manufacturing and production, heavy lifting, twisting movements, and long hours of working in awkward positions. Here are a couple of risk factors that may increase the probability of workers developing an MSD. It is important to encourage early reporting of MSDs before they become a major problem and cause pain and suffering for employees. Maintaining the body in a neutral position as much as possible is key. Understanding examples and symptoms of MSDs can help make informed decisions regarding health risk and intervention. Carpal tunnel syndrome is one of the most common hand conditions. Irritation or damage inside the carpal tunnel of your wrist is caused when swelling puts pressure on the median nerve. High force motions such as hammering, extreme wrist motions, vibration, and genetics are factors that can contribute to the condition. The symptoms of carpal tunnel syndrome include, but are not limited to, weakness when gripping objects with one or both hands, pain or numbness in one or both hands, pins and needles feelings in the finger, swollen feeling in the fingers, burning or tingling in the fingers, pain or numbness that is worse at night, disturbing sleep. Tendinitis is inflammation of the thick fibrous cords that attach muscle to bone. People develop tendinitis because of their jobs or hobbies involve motions that they repeat over and over. These cords are called tendons. The condition causes pain and tenderness just outside a joint. The symptoms of tendinitis include, but are not limited to, pain in the tendon when moved, swelling from fluid and inflammation, a grating feeling when moving the joint. Your rotator cuff consists of muscles and tendons that hold your shoulder in place. Injury could be due to performing overhead motions repeatedly and/or bone spurs. Your rotator cuff allows you to lift your arms and reach upward. A rotator cuff tear is a common cause of pain and disability among adults. Symptoms of rotator cuff tears include, but are not limited to, recurrent pain, especially in certain activities, pain that prevents you from sleeping on your injured side, grating or cracking sounds when moving your arm, limited ability to move your arm, and muscle weakness. Tennis elbow, also known as lateral epicondylitis, is a condition that can result from overuse of the muscles and tendons in the elbow. Epicondylitis may be caused by workplace accidents involving many industries and job tasks such as vacuuming, cleaning, construction work, lifting, typing, and landscaping. It can be hard to diagnose epicondylitis, but if a doctor diagnoses a worker with epicondylitis and an injured worker continues his or her regular duties when they have intense pain, this can worsen the condition and an employer must provide light duty or medical treatment. Trigger finger is a condition that results in a flexed trigger position. You can hear a palpable click in the digits. Trigger finger is a condition that causes pain and stiffness in the fingers or thumb. Trigger finger happens when the tendon that controls the finger can't glide smoothly in the sheath that surrounds it. Risk factors include repeated gripping. Typically, individuals may present with discomfort or functional limitations in the affected digit. Symptoms include, but are not limited to, swelling and progressive discomfort, painful click in the digit, inability to move a finger from a fixed flex position. Symptoms may develop gradually or may be acute. Another example of workplace MSDs include muscle strains and low back injuries. Training workers to lift safely is implied by the General Duty Clause of the 1970 Occupational Safety and Health Act. If a strain or sprain is caused by a non-instantaneous event or exposure, it should be recorded as an illness, except cases involving the back, which should always be classified as injuries. A physical conditioning and stretching routine can help reduce employee risk of muscle strains. What are some safe lifting techniques that employees can incorporate? Some examples include, but are not limited to, wear the appropriate shoes to avoid slips, trips, or falls, wear proper fitting, proper size and type gloves and other PPE, use extra caution when lifting unstable loads, keep lifts in your power zone, that is above the knees, below the shoulders, and close to the body, take rest breaks, do not twist your body, step to one side or the other to turn. The maximum weight to be lifted with two hands under ideal conditions is 51 pounds according to the revised NIOSH lifting equation. Only lift what you can handle and ask for help. Getting a good grip on the load and lifting with leg muscles. Stretch during the day. Stretching must not be used in place of engineering and/or administrative improvements. Report unsafe conditions to your supervisor. Take care of your body with exercise, proper posture, proper diet, and adequate rest. Employers can minimize ergonomic injuries and illnesses by incorporating proper ergonomic guidelines. Some of these guidelines include, but are not limited to, minimizing the distance loads are lifted and lowered, implement an ergonomics program, train employees, reduce the frequency of lifting and the amount of time employees perform lifting tasks by rotating workers, use mechanical devices, for example, lifts and hoists, whenever possible, avoid designing jobs that require workers to lift or lower materials to and from the floor, appropriately setting up workstations, tools, and equipments to eliminate excessive force and reducing risk of muscle fatigue and development of repetitive motion disorders. Many industries have successfully implemented ergonomic solutions in their facilities as a way to address their workers' MSD injury risks. These interventions have included modifying existing equipment, making changes in the work practices, and purchasing new tools or other devices to assist in the production process. Making these changes has reduced physical demands, eliminated unnecessary movements, lowered injury rates and their associated workers' compensation costs, and reduced employee turnover. In many cases, work efficiency and productivity have increased as well. Simple low-cost solutions are often available to solve problems. Involving the fit means to fit the job to the person and their capabilities. Three types of ergonomic improvement should include engineering controls, administrative and work practice controls, and personal protective equipment. Engineering controls refer to the implementation of physical changes to the workplace, which reduces the hazards on the job and task. Examples include to reduce the weight of a load to limit force exertion, redesign tools to enable neutral posture, provide adequate recovery time, and or decrease the distance or height over which the object is moved. In relation to mechanical stress, edges should be padded. Use proper PPE. To reduce repetitive tasks, use automation. Rotate jobs every 2 hours to use different muscle groups. You may review workstation design, work methods, tool and equipment design, controls and displays, connectors, fasteners and valves, product design. An ergonomic handheld scanner is an effective engineering control because it utilizes a pistol grip and has a well-balanced weight to reduce operator stress. Another example of an effective engineering control is using an electric table lift for easier handling. Mechanical devices eliminate unnecessary lifts that put strain on the employee, and easy access allows workers to get closer and reduces reaching, bending, and twisting. Another example of an engineering control is a vacuum lift. Other examples include a magnetic robotic arm. Administrative and work practice controls are measures that establish efficient processes and procedures. Examples include to establish a system so workers are rotated away from tasks to minimize the duration of continual exertion, repetitive motions, and awkward postures. Design a job rotation system in which employees rotate between jobs that use different muscle groups. Ensure equipment has proper preventative maintenance routines. Require that heavy loads are only lifted by 2 people to limit force exertion. And implementing an early symptom intervention program. The third ergonomic improvement is personal protective equipment. PPE is used as a last line of defense. Use proper PPE to reduce exposure to ergonomics-related risk factors. Examples include ensure PPE fits well and does not create an ergonomics hazard. That is, prevent proper grip, add compromising weight, reduce flexibility, use of padding, that is knee pads for prolonged tile work, anti-vibration gloves, etc., and wear good fitting thermal gloves to help with cold conditions while maintaining the ability to grasp items easily. An ergonomic process uses the principles of a safety and health program to address MSD hazards. Such a process should be viewed as an ongoing function that is incorporated into the daily operations rather than as an individual project. An ergonomics program can promote healthier workers, higher productivity, and improved employee morale. There is evidence that supports that reports of MSDs are linked to occupationally related psychosocial factors like limited job control, job dissatisfaction, and monotonous work. Implementing an ergonomic process is effective in reducing the risk of developing MSDs in high-risk industries as diverse as construction, food processing, firefighting, office jobs, healthcare, transportation, and warehousing. Perform a records review to help complete a comprehensive worksite analysis to identify trends. Records include but are not limited to OSHA 300 logs, workers' compensation claims, accident or incident reports, safety meeting reports, safety audits, employee complaints, a confidential symptom survey, and equipment and tool evaluations. The CDC's publication, Ergonomic Guidelines for Manual Material Handling, has a hazard evaluation checklist for lifting, carrying, pushing, or pulling. There is also an ergonomic awareness worksheet that can provide clues on how to make effective improvements and increase basic awareness of potential problems associated with jobs and tasks. You may address ergonomic issues in your workplace through this 7-step method. The first step is to educate employees about ergonomics. The second step is to collaborate, which includes involving employee participation in assessing and addressing ergonomic-related issues. The third step is to perform a workplace analysis. In this analysis, you can distribute a confidential symptom survey to each employee, perform a records review, and use incident and severity rates to determine focus. The fourth step is small-scale testing. Training is an important element in the ergonomics process. When training is effective, workers will learn the principles, learn about the proper use of equipment, tools, and machine controls, use good work practices, including proper lifting techniques, become more aware of work tasks that may lead to pain or injury, recognize early symptoms of MSDs, understand the importance of reporting and addressing early indications of MSDs before serious injuries develop, and understanding procedures for reporting work-related injuries and illnesses, as required by OSHA's injury and illness record-keeping and reporting regulation. OSHA.gov has resources for training, which would be helpful when creating your ergonomics training program. Kentucky Occupational Safety and Health Division of Education and Training offers free e-training, safety and health consultative services, and training services. OSHA offers the following cooperative programs under which businesses, labor groups, and other organizations can work cooperatively with the agency to help prevent ergonomic-related injuries. In order for a company to take advantage of these services, they cannot have any open cases with compliance. Also make note that these are primarily developed for small and medium-sized employers with hazardous operations. With these cooperative programs, no penalties are proposed or citations issued. Violations of standards are not reported to the Division of Compliance unless an employer fails to eliminate or control any serious hazard or imminent danger. The following links are additional resources that can help you learn more about ergonomics. NIOSH offers many types of publications that can assist in creating an effective ergonomics program, such as general ergonomics manuals, industry or operation-specific manuals, and ergonomics text. These publications can be found in the link below. This concludes our online training session on warehouse ergonomics. Please visit our website, kentuckysafe.ky.gov, for additional safety and health courses. Thank you.